Folks, welcome back to Homestead Aquarius. I have got a story to tell you about what happened to me this past Saturday. Today is Monday, and get a little coffee here, a little coffee and Wilson. I'm going to tell Wilson the story in case some of y'all find it boring, or all of you find it boring and you have to click out. At least somebody's heard it all the way through. Now, this past Saturday was one of the longer days of my life, one of the most frustrating, and there for a little bit, it was one of the most terrifying days. And then it became one of the top 5 days of my life, the best days ever, if not the best day ever, at least since my children were born. Okay? And then at the end of it, and it becoming the best day, it also made a pretty cool invention. I'm going to tell you the story about how the hand of God, Lucky Charms, and duct tape made it that way. Okay? Made everything good. Well, the story starts, it being a long day. It started at Friday morning at 5 o'clock in the morning when I woke up. Had a pretty normal day, doing all the things I needed to do. And I needed to get ready for a trip to be with family. It was a couple of hours away, and we're going to have a Christmas breakfast. We always do ours after Christmas on a day, and that was Saturday. And I had a little bit of a drive, so I had to leave early in the morning. And I decided, because I was busy all that night, and it was already very late and into the morning hours when I was still thinking. And a lot of times I don't sleep when I've got a lot on my mind or I've got a lot to do. And I'll just stay up and wait and keep working on it until I'm exhausted and then finally go to sleep. That was that night. That was Friday night into Saturday morning. And I knew that I would probably sleep through any alarm I set. And so I just stayed up. And I said, I'll stay up, it'll be fine, and then I'll drive in. So that's how that went. But just before I was ready to go out the door to start the trip on early Saturday morning, I had a large 20-ounce glass of sweet tea. And it was situated in a certain place that whenever I hit it, and I hit it with a lot of force, it launched itself in the air, turned upside down, and spilled everywhere. Everywhere was soaked in tea, including my old house shoes that was on the floor. My old house shoes, because I had a new pair of house shoes, relatively new pair of house shoes, sitting up and just away from there. And so the tea completely soaked old house shoes that was on the floor and everything else around there, you know. But I figured my new house shoes was all good. I got things cleaned up as best as I could, and but the carpet and everything was all completely soaked. I swear it was a 20 ounce, but I think it was a gallon the way it sprayed out. And you know how sugar gets in the carpet and it makes a mess? Yeah. So that was a thing, and I couldn't do everything, with it, and I had to get on the road. So on the road I went, meeting with family. We were all gathered together, and the sweet tea is part of the most frustrating thing, okay? Let me tell you. All gathered with family, and we're having a good day, and we're ready to start eating, but we're missing someone. That someone was my youngest son. He hadn't made it there yet, and we were waiting. And we got a phone call, and my mother answered the phone, and I could tell in her voice she was worried. She said, "What happened?" A crash. "Where are you?" And instantly, when those few words came out of her mouth, it became the most terrifying day of my life. What was going on? Because I could hear his voice on, the conversation. I knew it was him. And I knew he had been in a crash. And unknown to me, he was on his motorcycle. And it was a rainy day. Okay? So he was fine, though. Okay? So I get in my car. My brother takes off in his truck and gets a trailer. And we go down to the interstate where he laid down his motorcycle in the heavy rain. He slid a very long ways when he laid it down. I'm terrified the whole time, but I knew that he was okay. He said he was okay, but still, as a parent, you worry. We get there, and he tells me what happened. I see him. He's in one piece. And he lost traction in the heavy rain and slid. That bike slid with him for, it was at least 100 feet, and I forget what he said, whether it's 100 feet or 100 yards. It was a downhill slope, and when he lost traction in the wet, he might have gone 100 yards. I forget what he said now, because the wet will allow things to slide easier. I looked at him. There was nothing wrong with him. His bike's messed up, ground off pieces of metal, lost the handle, the brake handle on one of the handlebars. But he was fine. His helmet was busted, and where his right ear would be, there was a deep gouge in there, deep gouge all the way down from the pavement. That helmet saved his ear for sure, and it took the impact, and it has crumple zones inside, so it saved him from massive head trauma and possibly death that way too. But he slid down the interstate for such a long ways, and he's got one of those things on his waist, one of these personal protection devices that's concealed just inside his waistline. And the holster was chewed up. He didn't even know it until later. Because as he slid, his body, he didn't have any damage to his right leg at all. His back pocket where his billfold was, that was chewed up at the top. His billfold actually was helping protect his buttocks from getting chewed up. And the holster of his little protection device took the brunt of his weight and was ground down severely. And the protection device was still in it, okay, after it was over. That was amazing too. So his helmet took it and the holster took it. And I want you to know that my son did not even have a scratch on him. Not a bruise, not a scratch, not a hair out of place, except when it, for the helmet hair. That had to be the hand of God right there. It's the only thing I can think. Interstate, heavy rain, motorcycle. God was looking out for my son. He was looking out for me too. Because I can tell you right now, that would have been the worst day of my life. But it didn't happen. My boy was spared any cuts or bruises. And I realize now it can't be short enough. So I'm going to have to end it here, or I'm going to pick back up in just a second. Okay, let's just fade out here. Let's do this. Okay, so to me, it's a miracle. As a parent, anybody can understand that. You won't know that feeling until you have kids. I was overcome to be that worried about him getting hurt or killed. And then to find him there with not a single scratch or bruise was just amazing. It don't always work out that way. So anyhow, we got him and the bike and everything on the trailer and went back, and we had a wonderful day. A lot of food, a lot of fun, and it was a good day. And I said my goodbyes and left, got on the road. It was getting late already. And along the way, no, not along the way, but earlier in that day, John had told me that he wanted to do a live stream and wanted me there with him and everything. So I had to kick things into higher gear. I could not drive that fast, but I drove as fast as I could and stay safe. That's important. You want to get there in one piece, you know. You don't want to get there dead. Okay? So I could only do so much. And the trip was uneventful. It went well. I didn't have any problems with traffic or anything. Sorry, my mouth is a little dry. Trip went well. And I got here 15 minutes before the live was to start. Okay? So this big, long day, and I'm coming in just before 7 o'clock. I'm tired. Okay? And we did the live stream, got that out of the way, and I'm pretty tired. Been a very emotional day. And then I had another couple of things to do before I would go to bed. And so I was getting ready for bed, and reached over for my new house shoes that were untouched by the tea. And when I reached over and grabbed them from their little place that should have been out of range of the tea, I found that they were soaked as well. That tea went everywhere. I reached in and they were squishy. They were squishy. Sweet tea and sugar is just a mess. So now I've got my house shoes somehow full of sweet tea and squishiness. And I'm fixing to put those on, take my boots off, take these old boots off, and then go to bed. I have to get up in the middle of the night and do them things, you know, have to go to the bathroom or something like that. And then I'm going to have to walk around in bare feet. And a lot of y'all don't know, my newer members don't know, I live in an RV. And a puddle of tea that's sprayed everywhere is, you're going to, and it can't be cleaned up right away, and it's done soaked in and dried in. It's going to be nasty on your feet. And then you're going to have to get back in bed. And I wasn't having that. And so I got to thinking about it. I said, well, I can wear my boots and then take them off and put them back on if I need to go. And that's going to be, I don't want to fool with that. I'm going to have to do something. I ain't got my house shoes. And I was sitting there thinking, I said, okay, I can figure this out. I'm going to make me some. Right? So that's what I did. I think I've told you all the rest of this story now. Now we're going to get down to the Lucky Charms that I'm pretty sure that my son, besides the hand of God, maybe he had a lucky charm on him. But in my case, to finish up this story, it was these Lucky Charms right here. And that helped make my day complete. Because I've got house shoes and I've got imagination. So the other side of this box here became, it's goofy, y'all. All right, just bear with me though. This was peace of mind for me. That box became this pair of sandals. Look at that. Look at that action. Look at that duct tape action. I told you duct tape was involved. And our little friend, the leprechaun. They're magically delicious. And they magically kept my feet in good shape. I didn't get them dirty. And that was magic right there. Look at there. You see that? That's another reason why I wanted sun protection. I've got a couple of exposed nail heads that keep coming back on me. So there's that. So they worked. They worked quite well. And it's got a one-size-fit-all adjustment thing right there. You see that? Yep. It was a little bit too big, and I tightened them up. Now, you probably will never use this in your daily life ever, but on that day, on that Saturday, that's how it ended, with me making me a pair of Lucky Charms house shoes. Now, yesterday, I did go out and get me a brand new unsugared pair of really nice house shoes. And I'm going to keep them way away from my sweet tea. I don't know if there's a lesson in this for anyone else, but to talk about these things, to know in my own heart that it had to be, at least I think it was a miracle that my son made it through without a scratch or a bruise. So Saturday became really the best day of my life. I did not have to bury my son. Okay. I didn't have to bury him. And that's a pretty good day right there. You think of how many times people do, and it's because of a motorcycle accident or anything else like that. And I've done this video a couple of times now, a few times, and I always get emotional right here at this part. If you're a parent, you can understand reliving and telling this stuff. This has been long enough, and I appreciate each and every one of you that have watched and made it to the end especially. And, you know, I made that pair. It's already worn. But you know what? If any of you really wants a pair of my custom-made unique sandals, let me know. I've got enough material to make one more pair. Just send me your size and we'll talk. But I hope you enjoyed that story. And now I'm going to say goodbye to you and Wilson. And I'm going to go back in the house with my cup of coffee. And I hope y'all be good. That's what I always say. Y'all be good. Take care of yourself and love your loved ones. And make sure that they know every day through your actions that they matter. Okay? Do that, because you don't know when that last day is going to be. Goodbye, y'all. Y'all be good.